He said so much about me. What is important is work talks. Earlier, I used to have verbal diarrhea, talk a lot. But as you get older, I think words become less, and you show your work, and that is important, and that's what I propose to do today. Okay, this is a very interesting project. It's a revitalization project. I don't break rules, so I can sleep peacefully at night. My husband was traumatically murdered at home, and that was in 2006. Sometimes when people question me about situations, I tell them, walk in my shoes. Then you'll realize what one goes through in different situations. So I'm a fighter, and I make sure women fight for their rights. And that is important. Don't present the bravado. Be the person. Okay, so I'm sorry the photographs are not very good. This presentation was put together very fast. Okay, this has got an infinity pool too, and it's on the river Mandovi, and it's overlooking Sharao. Can you imagine the location? I always find that we Goans don't have such prime locations, and the people who come in do get the prime locations. So it is our duty to make the best of it. That's what we try. Okay. I just wanted to ask a question to the audience. Water is the elixir of life. Mr. Menon is here, who uses water and other issues to firefight. Am I right? There are other extinguishing materials too. Do we realize the importance of water? We were all feeling thirsty. We were uncomfortable. So one should realize how important water is. And it's our duty, as Elizabeth also said, we should have a conscience. As far as possible, recycle, recycle, recycle. Okay. So this is interesting, why I brought up this topic now, is here we recycle the water. We have chambers with different materials, and the water gets through all of them, and the water gets recycled for the flushing system. This is Avnilaya, which we designed with a friend of mine, Lulu, years ago. And 2 villas were there, and this is the third. It's called the third. Here we did, again, an infinity pool. We used eco materials, Bharat, over here. And here again, we use recycling of the water. This is an exterior shower, where the water gets reused going through the filtration systems, and it goes to water the plants. It's dense foliage here. This is a project which got a commendation award. This is called Laxo Villas. This was also an existing house, and it belongs to a very erstwhile family called the Dhons. And he wanted to make them as palaces of Goa. So we tried to revitalize it to its full glory. Sarah Dhon, a young 24-year-old, was my client here. I use a lot of IPS, as it also does. And I tried to use the colors which are Portuguese in nature. So we merge with the environment. This was built in, it's 200-year-old house. So the interesting part was, this part of the house was partly existing. And I extended it in the same language. The pool doesn't have tiles, it's painted. Can you see this water body in the middle? Okay. There's a grating on the top where the water collects, falls through. There are systems over there where the filtration takes place, and we use it for planting again. By the way, there are no mosquitoes in this courtyard also. IPS again. This wash basin was built by me, literally. Okay, this is again a revitalization house. Mr. Shailendra Agarwal. The house was owned by Ajay Chaudhary of HCL Computers, founder. I did his new project in Resmagos, so he told Mr. Agarwal, you just go to her, she's your one-stop shop. I was very uncomfortable because I prefer people get to see my work and then go for me, rather than people blabbing and recommending someone. Though I do give referrals, the referrals are with people who have credibility. So as you can see, we did very ornate detailing here. And look at this dramatic pool. Okay, guess what is special about this pool? The waterfall, which is part of the pool, has a cycling system which we use for generating power for the lights outside. This is the fun that I have doing a project. It's on the river. It's a dramatic location. This was a young boy who came over and very aspiring to build a beer in Goa. Now he's become part of our family. I mean, we've become so close. So Aditya wanted to get just a villa for himself, but his mother came into the picture and said, no, you have to make money from this. So we decided to make something which the side view doesn't justify it. And they fooled around and changed the roof. It was a sloping roof. The idea was of a large villa. But that changed. Okay, this is the house which I did for the owner of HCL, Ajay Chaudhary. I don't know if you remember in Goa, there was this hotel called River Race. A lot of people got married over there. So some people drove by and said, you know, oh, where is the hotel where I got married? So I said, you can surely go in and meet the owners now and tell them, now at least give us a cup of tea, since you've taken this away the site from our memories. So we built 3 villas over here on the same footprint. Again, I don't cheat. Okay, this was again with 3-4 boys, enthusiastic. Here we did a pool which was not the normal geometric thing. And most of it now, this project has been brought over. Bombay people initially bought it, and now the locals have bought it over. So it's interesting when I used to complain that we don't have beautiful houses because we design for others. And so now it's been bought over by them. This is a project called Richmond Park, which has changed and it's become a hotel. It was owned by a lot of gay people. And it's a very active, vibrant place now. Okay, this is the art hotel. When Subodh Kerkar, artist Subodh Kerkar, first had his museum cum residence in Kalangut, he asked me to help him out to launch his art gallery at home. My daughter and Sharda, both of them studied together in school, so we are really close family friends. And so ultimately, Subodh had the opportunity to open up at Pilen Industrial Estate. So he handed over the project, the old house and the rear portion where there was land, and we tried to not cut down even one tree. So as you can see, nobody can do this. We built around the pool. And the engineers, Bharat, you have to tell us what happens when the roots of this tree permeate into the thing. It's more than 18 years old and not a root has permeated. So it was my luck. Can you see the drama? Okay, this is another hotel. Again, water being recycled. That's the reason why I'm showing the bathrooms also, because water recycled. Okay, I'm 63. As we grow older, real beauty travels from the face to the heart. Appeal turns to charm, hurt to wisdom, and great moments to shared memories. The true beauty of life is not how happy you are now, but how happy others are because of you. That's my motto. Thank you so much.
Well, as I say, all good things must come to an end, but mark the beginning of a brand new one, and that's the icing of the cake coming in from architect RITA JOSHI. Well, we'd like to have questions open for everyone. Our youngsters, do you have anything that we'd like to address right from there? Our stalwarts seated in front. Well, this is the very first time in Goa that we are actually launching this at this summit. So for some of us it'll be brand new, yes, because Goa has been a virgin territory for a long time, till stalwarts like y'all have taken over and brought it back into a spectrum of delivery. Any questions?
You don't have any questions?
In fact, it's just a coincidence, Rita ji, that in a week's time, I met two of your disciples, and I never knew, I always thought you as a journalist, I never knew you as an architect, because you are always carrying something, you always take notes, you always are so active in all the forums asking questions. Now this always gives a scare of Rita Ben being a journalist rather than, and she's a quite minute observation, and she would just go by the things. She's not a part of the lot, and she would go by herself. So that was the impression I was always carrying. But in last week, one Nilanjay, who happens to be from where I am now, Bharuch and Ankleshwar, he gave his regards that you're going to meet her, And just a while before, Ankit Changawala from Surat, well, he gave his regards. We were just interacting. And,
They're my sweethearts.
yeah, absolutely. And they have said that we love Rita. Like
I love them too.
Absolutely. They've had fantastic time working with you and the experiences that they've gathered with you.
Thank you for conveying the message.
Thank you. Whilst Rita's still on stage,
Yeah, I have a question
Yes.
for Rita ji. So Architect Rita, lovely, again, so much variety of works and all. I want to ask regarding especially the recycling, of water recycling. What is the span of it, and isn't it again a deterrent for basically clients? We have to convince them because there's a span of that system, right? The lifespan of that system is how much, and how costly does that get?
No.
Like after,
I don't know how many people do this, but I make chambers,
okay,
and there are a series of chambers. So I put rubble, khadi, sand, and the water filtrates through the whole thing. So I recharge wells. I work with all the water which comes from showers, wash basins. It filters through the whole thing, and we recharge, and we have collection chambers. My house is on top of a hill, and I collect the water from there. Any rain. So it comes down all the way. I have tanks where the water collects. I use that for watering the garden. I also use that for flushing. So, there are ways and means of handling. That's why I have a dream of setting up a school of meaningful architecture.
lovely. We hope that we can see it kind of converted.
Inshallah.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Trinity World, their CMD, Mr. Joseph Dias, who is here with us, who has been putting it up for many, many years together. I want you all to put your hands together for him because he's brought summits, not across Goa, but across all parts of India, getting in delegates and different counterparts coming in from different governments of states and, of course, international boundaries that have been trespassed, I would use that word, in this particular context. We'd also like to say a big, big thank you to Kanika Bawa for moderating everything here today. And, of course, our speakers. Kanika, why don't you come up on stage? Yes, I'd like to invite you so that we can thank our speakers through you.
Also, can we request all the speakers to be there on the stage
Absolutely.
for a picture?
Yes. So our speakers for today, Prashant Shafikar, Mithu Akali, Nilesh Gandhi, Bharat Kamath, Elizabeth Kurian, and Rita Modi Joshi. We'd also like to invite Architect Kalapi and Dr. Rege, the principal of the Goa College of Architecture, to come up on stage, please, with Shri Joseph Dias.